Hi everyone, we're continuing exploring functions today. We are exploring function notation. Function notation is a very useful way to understand all important characteristics of our function. First of all, we ought to highlight what is an independent variable and what is the dependent variable. And the dependent variable is usually is our x. It's the variable that will most likely influence the change of the y variable. Therefore, the y variable will be considered a dependent variable. Okay, let's unpack the following problem. Maria needs to order shirts for the upcoming school dance for her dance team. The store Maria chooses to buy from charges a $5 fixed fee for the CHS logo Maria wants plus $2 for each shirt Maria buys. How much will Maria pay if she ordered 5 shirts? And what about 10 shirts? And what about 15 shirts? All right. Knowing what we know about function, we know that we're going to have a one-on-one relationship between the x and the y. The x most likely will be number of shirts. The y will be the cost that Maria will be looking at. All right, and we know that according to how many, the cost will vary according to how many shirts, the cost $2 each. Maria will decide on purchasing plus the fixed fee of $5. This one is our function. There's a way that we can explore the function and understand how our variable depend on each other. The first thing that we have to understand is something called function notation. In function notation, you will have something like this that would represent the same function that we have just highlighted. 2 times x plus $5 is a function of f of x. So the y value, the cost, is a function of x, of how many shirts Maria decides on buying. All of this can be related and written in a way that we know that the function that we're working with, it's a function of x. X is our independent variable. F of x is therefore our final cost. Okay, now we can understand how this way of expressing a function is useful to figure it out, the different possible value that the cost will obtain. Okay, what about if Maria decides to buy 5 shirts? Well, we know that our x value is now 5. We can evaluate our function notation for a value of x equals 5. When we do that, we literally establish that our x will be 5, and we'll be go in and literally evaluate this function for x equals 5. In this case, we can expect Maria to pay $15. That is our value of the function when x is 5. Let's continue. What about 10? We will continue. We will set our x values equals 10, and we will evaluate our function using function notation for x equals 10. In this case, we know that Maria can expect to pay $25 for 10 shirts. And so on. You know what I'm going with this. It's actually very straightforward once you practice a few times. Let's do one more time our last example. If x equals 15, we know that we can expect our function to be evaluated for x equals 15. So this function of 15 will be something like 2 times 15 plus 5, which is exactly 35. All right, I hope you enjoyed our short lesson. The key of this concept is just to practice a little bit, and it would be actually very helpful in you to evaluate function, the different values of x, recognize how to find quickly an output according to your input, and finally, it will also be extremely helpful to understand which one are the independent and dependent variable in your problem. I hope you enjoy your lesson.